That night, Rena and her friends, Dika, Tia, and Satria, decided to take a short trip to a villa on the outskirts of town. They left the city after sunset, with the evening calm and the streets empty. The road to the villa passed through a forest that was famous for being haunted, but they didn't pay much attention to it. They focused more on chatting and laughing in the car. As they got further away from the city, the roads began to turn darker and a thin mist began to roll in. Car lights can only illuminate a few meters ahead. Suddenly, the car Dika was driving broke down. The engine simply died, with no previous signs of damage. They were silent for a moment, feeling the atmosphere suddenly turn tense. Dika tried to start the machine again, but the machine didn't respond. The only sound was the wind blowing through the trees, and the sound felt even more eerie in the dark forest. Tia, who was sitting in the back seat, looked out the window, and suddenly her face turned pale. "Guys, did you see that?" he said in a trembling voice. Everyone turned to where Tia was pointing. In the middle of the fog, they saw the silhouette of a person standing on the side of the road, not far from their car. Rena tried to convince herself that it was just an optical illusion, but the image remained there, becoming more clearly visible as the figure of a woman in white with long hair covering her face. Without thinking, Satria tried to open the door to go out and check, but the car door couldn't be opened, as if it was locked from the outside. Suddenly, the woman's figure moved closer to the car, walking slowly with inaudible steps. Everyone in the car started to panic. Dika continued to try to start the car engine with shaking hands, while Tia started crying in fear. When the figure was very close, right in front of the car window, suddenly the car engine started by itself. Dika immediately stepped on the gas pedal, and the car drove at full speed, leaving the figure behind. They didn't look back, just focused on getting out of the forest as quickly as possible. Upon arrival at the villa, they all agreed never to pass that way again. That night, the image of the woman in white continued to haunt their minds, refusing to disappear, as if it was still waiting for them in the dark and silent forest.